Y'all know that I've been doing hurricane relief up in Western North Carolina since October. And today is June 27th, and this officially marks 9 months since the hurricane came through Western North Carolina. You know, I've been in the mix for several months now, and when you're doing hurricane relief, or maybe any natural disaster, this is the first one I've ever really experienced. When you take kind of a leadership role, you just go. There's things to get done. You don't really slow down. You just go. Each day there's a new list. The list continues to get longer. You just go. You don't really think about anything else. You just do it. Today I had the opportunity to ride along with Stephanie Johnson with Rebuilding Hollars in Burnsville, North Carolina. Her foundation is rebuilding homes across Yancey and Mitchell County, and what she has done is met with residents that have experienced devastation and is helping them to find the resources such as materials, skilled labor and volunteers, as well as monetary donations to help these folks rebuild. And she has over 500 projects on her list that she's trying to get fulfilled. And so I had the pleasure of riding along with her today. So there wasn't an agenda, there wasn't a checklist of things that we needed to do, but we met with a couple of projects so that we can try to put them out on social media to try to help acquire these resources. And throughout the ride, we went along the Cane River and the Tow River, and I've been up and down the Tow River many a times. You guys have seen our interviews with some of those residents, but I haven't been on the Cane River since a week after the storm. And now that the roads are clear, she showed me a lot of the other projects that we didn't make stops at, but just talked about each family. Y'all, there's so many people that are still living in campers. And I knew that, right? I knew that because I took on 8 new cases yesterday of folks that are displaced. And it's just real challenging to see it, okay? So many of y'all are sitting quietly at home and comfortable in your home and scrolling social media. And you know that it happened, right? But you really truly don't grasp the sheer devastation and what these people are going through. They had 5 suicides over the last month in that area just because it's so hard to cope with. Help's not coming. It's truly neighbors helping neighbors. And if it's not folks like us, folks like you watching this or sharing this video, they're not going to get help. They need money, clearly. It's going to cost to build. It costs to pay good skilled labor to make sure these houses are built properly. They need materials. They need volunteers to do the work. There's just so much there. One family, he has some daughters, and the structure is there, but everything was wiped out inside. The house is not livable. They can't stay there. So they are staying in a set of tiny, you want to call them tiny homes. They're not tiny homes. They're sheds. That's what they are. They are sheds. It's a shed that you would buy to park your damn lawnmower in the backyard. It's a shed. Okay, so let's stop glamorizing the tiny home, because that's not what it is. It's a shed. And they have 3 sheds, and they are utilizing these sheds as certain rooms: living room, laundry room, bedroom. And they're making it, okay? They're getting by, they're surviving, but it's a struggle. It's such a struggle. We have a 70-plus-year-old that has a house on her family property. The floodwaters came up 40 to 50 feet. I mean, think about being 70 plus years old. You've gone through your life, you're retired, And now you're ready to go on with the rest of your life and live in peace, and you've lost everything. You've lost everything. You have to completely start over. And I don't think, it's not that I don't think, I know. We were in Mississippi last week on a trip for my husband. And everyone that I was in contact with, they're all along the East Coast, so they're not far away from where we are in North Carolina. And they had no idea that this was still going on. They heard about the hurricane. A couple months went by and they thought everything was fine and everything's good to go. You know, the little catchphrase, "We are not okay," it's terrible. It's terrible. Yes, they're getting by. Yes, they're surviving. It is neighbors helping neighbors. They're trying to make the best light of the situation that they possibly can. But y'all, it's in bad shape. It's in real bad shape. Taking the time today to not be in the driver's seat, but to be the observer, it forced me to slow down and let it all sink in again. It's not that I didn't know, but like everyone else, I was just going, and not allowing the sheer impact, I guess, to be absorbed. And it's just heartbreaking. It's hard. You know, those of us that have been doing this since the beginning, there's a lot of burnout, a lot of frustration, a lot of heartbreak. I don't necessarily feel like I'm burned out. I'm frustrated with the lack of resources that we have in order to help these people. That's what I'm frustrated. And so many of us are. It's nonprofits. We have a state-ran organization, a division that was created, and I'll not mention it, in the state of North Carolina, and it's being funded. And they get an 800 number, and there's caseworkers, and these caseworkers are getting phone calls from residents, and they're supposed to help them to find the resources to rebuild and to get their life back together. And do y'all know that more than 50% of my caseload as a housing coordinator right now is coming from that state-led division or state-paid division? I'm grateful to be in the position that I am in, to make an attempt to help these folks. But it's just so disheartening to see such a lack of improvement this far in. We are 9 months in, and the lack of support and the lack of progress is just still so devastating. Still devastating. If you're watching this, find it in your heart to find a way to help. Reach out to me. I can help you connect with so many other nonprofits that are covering so many other areas. I can connect you in a way that you can utilize your skill set. Share these videos, follow these nonprofits, follow our nonprofit, follow our pages, and then follow the organizations that I also follow or share, to find out or to follow what ways you can help. Sharing, getting this information out, that's what's so heartbreaking. In the beginning, we were sharing our YouTube videos, and you know, they were getting an upper of 100,000 views, and all of that money we were donating back to the organization or back to individuals. And our last Helene video only had a couple thousand views, and that was in March. So it's not trending, it's not cool anymore, so it's not getting out there. But people need to know. People need to know what these folks are still going through. People need to know and see and find ways to step up in the powerful ways that they were stepping up in the beginning. You know, in the beginning, everybody was just making a mad dash rush to send all these supplies. And while there are supplies that are still needed across these organizations, there's so much more that is still needed and so much more that can still be done, but people don't know. So just help us get the word out. Help us help these folks that are still living in these situations, because while I think it's cool to be able to be outdoors and overland and enjoy the great outdoors and sleep in the outside. It's been 90 plus degrees here this week, and I can guarantee you that I would not want to be living in a shed, right now. And I can't imagine that you would either.